Hello students, I'm here with another video from the chapter of class 10th NCERT book, that is How Do Organisms Reproduce. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So we have seen the word, what is the meaning of the word reproduction? The word reproduction means to produce again, to increase in number. Okay, now how do the organisms are going to increase in number? So we have studied about various life processes in the previous chapter of biology. Okay, where we saw that where we have seen that the life processes like digestion, nutrition, respiration, circulation, excretion, all these we have already studied in the previous lessons. Okay, now why this is not considered to be the life processes, and during that time only why we haven't discussed this? So we have not discussed this process over there because those processes which we have already studied, that is nutrition, respiration, circulation, all these were very important life processes, because of which in the absence of these life processes the animal or the organism could die. But this reproduction is a kind of life process which is not going to, I mean, this is not going to affect the life and death of any person or any individual. Okay, so if we talk about these kinds of if we talk about the kind of way by which each and every organism is going to participate in increasing in number, so that could be of two types. We have already studied that. I have given the idea regarding it. So that is of two type. One is the sexual mode of reproduction and the other one is the asexual mode of reproduction. So we have already started with the asexual mode of reproduction, where I have told you that the variations are there, DNA copying happens in the individuals which are being made because of these types of reproduction. They are not exactly the same. They are I mean, they are different in some other ways. They are the DNA is getting copied, but still they are not the exact copies. They are the similar copies of each other. Okay, so in the last class I discussed about the first mode of reproduction, that is asexual mode of reproduction, in which we have seen about the fission. Okay, so we have seen fission. So what is the meaning of the word fission? Fission means to divide, and this division could be of two types, where we can see that this division could be of two types. One could be the binary fission or the multiple fission. Okay, binary fission or the multiple fission. So we have seen that in binary fission, as the name suggests, that these kinds of fission takes place in the unicellular organism, like the amoeba, where the animal's body or the parent's body was the first, I mean, the first body was, I mean, one amoeba is there which is dividing and forming two daughter cells. Okay, so this kind of fission is known as binary fission, where one parent is going to divide and form two identical daughter cells. Similarly, we have also seen about the multiple fission in the plasmodium, which is the causative agent of malaria. So which causes malaria in the animals, in the human beings? Okay, so I mean, in the human beings especially, where we could see, so this plasmodium is one of the protozoa which is going to, I mean, which is going to do this asexual mode of reproduction, or will undergo the asexual mode of reproduction of multiple fission, where one single animal is there, it develops like a cyst, and then this cyst wall is going to protect the inner membrane of the plasmodium, and each nucleus is dividing, redividing, and it forms several nucleus inside one single parent. So, and small, all the cytoplasm would be distributed in these nucleus, with the nucleus, one nucleus, and some cytoplasm will be distributed, and it could be forming one new individual. Now what happens once the unfavorable conditions are there? So in this manner the cyst develops, plasmodium develops in the form of cyst which contains several copies of their nucleus as well as a cytoplasm, and each and every nucleus and this part is going to participate, and this is going to increase in number. This helps in the asexual mode of reproduction, that helps in multiple fission. Okay, now once the cyst wall is broken down, when the favorable condition comes, then what happens? This cyst wall breaks open. Once this breaks open, then what happens? The nucleus which are present inside with the cytoplasm, they get matured, they are removed outside, they come out. Okay, and they form several new individuals with the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So this is known as the daughter cells. Okay, so these are the daughter cells. And this was the parent. So the parent plasmodium is going to follow the multiple fission mode of asexual mode of reproduction. Now here the animal is going to take, this animal is going to accumulate the one nucleus, there are some cytoplasm in each and every cell, and once a cell breaks open, then what happens? It is going to form the daughter cell. Okay, so this forms daughter cell, and different and many daughter cells are formed, not only two, more than two daughter cells are formed. That is why it is said to be as multiple fission. One animal is dividing and forming more than two individual children, so that is why it is said to be as multiple fission. So here in multiple fission, you could see several daughter cells are being made. Now I will move on to the next topic, that is budding. So this is the next mode of reproduction, asexual mode of reproduction, which is known as budding. Now what is this budding process? Budding process or the bud formation, it is a process by which one projection like formation is happening on the parent's body, and then it detaches and forms an individual, fully grown individual, okay, outside this parent's body. So what happens in this budding? Outgrowth develops. Outgrowth develops from parent's body, which detaches and forms fully grown individual. Okay, so this happens in yeast. You could see that these yeast are the fungi. These fungi, they have certain cytoplasm inside it. Now what happens? They will grow. They will grow in the form of outgrowth, and this outgrowth is known as bud. Now once this outgrowth is developed a little bit, it detaches from the parent's body. This is a parent yeast which breaks and then it grows fully, and this becomes the first, this is the daughter cell, and then it reaches to a fully grown cell. Okay, this is how the budding takes place. So budding is a process by which one outgrowth is developed from the parent's body, and then once it is grown, it detaches. After some time, it detaches from the parent's body and it grows independently. Okay, so this is how the budding takes place. The examples where budding is taking place, the first example is this yeast cell. Okay, so it takes place in yeast. As you all know that this yeast is very much important in the baking industry or in the bakery, in the bakeries. Why? Because this is responsible for increasing the volume of the dough. Okay, So the batter is increased in its volume because of the use of this yeast, which is the very common fungi, which comes in the form of powder, and then this is going to be dissolved in water, and then it is added up in the batter, and it is left for some hours. Now, why in some hours, what happens in this yeast? So this yeast grows, divides and redivides. This undergo reproduction, asexual mode of reproduction, and budding starts formation. The formation of budding starts. Now, once the budding starts, all these yeasts, they undergo they undergo anaerobic respiration, and because of anaerobic respiration, they start producing carbon dioxide. Okay, so once they start producing carbon dioxide, children, they are going to give rise to the different. This carbon dioxide is going to move upwards, which results in the bubble formation. Now, when you keep the dough in the oven and or in the microwave, then what happens? When it is kept in the oven, then this air bubbles are going to released, and from where the air bubbles are released, there the net like structure, the mesh like structure is being formed, as you could see in the breads, you could see in the various bakery bakery items, okay, like biscuits and all, in the cakes, okay. So this is used in a very basic structure. This fungi, this yeast is used in the baking industries. Okay, why this is used? Because this takes participate in the asexual mode of reproduction, where budding takes place, and lots of budding, if it is taking place, more and more anaerobic respiration is going to take place, and more batter would increase in its volume. Fine, it is going to give the fluffy, it is going to give the fluffy structure or the fluffiness in the dough. Okay, now we have discussed some other parts regarding this yeast, but here we are studying the mode of reproduction in this yeast, which is known as budding, which is very simple, which is very clear, as we have seen this word bud in the case of the flowers. So these unopened flowers, which contain all the structures inside them, but once they are in a very primary stage, or when they are very much in a smaller stage, this is said to be as bud. An unopened flower is said to be as the bud, and this bud is having all the parts of a complete flower inside it. Once this opens and forms a flower, then it is a fully grown flower. Similarly, here also what happens, parent's body, that is the yeast's body, is going to give rise to certain small projection like structures. Some outgrowths will be grown from the parent's body, and this finally detaches from, and this is known as bud. This bud is going to detach from the body of the parent, and it grows individually, independently, and in the form of fully grown yeast. First, they will be known as the daughter cells, and then it will be fully grown yeast. Okay, so it takes place in yeast, it takes place in hydra. Fine, so many animals are there where also this budding can take place. So one of the example is of hydra. Okay, I'll draw this. So this is a sedentary animal which is going to be present in the form of the flower vase-like structure inside the water. Then what happens? It takes place in the hydras. Okay, this takes place in hydra. Now what happens? After some time, when this hydra is fully grown, it gives rise to another small hydra. Okay, so this small outgrowth is known to be as the bud. Okay, first it is not very big, it is very small. One small projection, one projection is being developed from here, which is very small, and later on this develops. This is the parent hydra, and this was the bud which was developing. Okay, so this is a bud. So this is bud, again this is a bud, and this again grows. Fully grown bud. Okay, now what happens? This is the hydra or the parent hydra. So what happens when this parent hydra is living, it gives rise to, when it is fully grown, it gives rise to small outgrowth like structure. This outgrowth is very tiny first, then it is going to grow. This results in the bud formation. This is also a bud, this is outgrowth, this is the bud. This bud is fully grown. Once this is fully grown, this detaches. So parent hydra becomes free, and this bud also starts moving, and this also develops at certain substratum, certain support, and it starts developing. So this is the daughter hydra. Okay, this is the parent hydra, this is the daughter hydra. Fine, so this is how the budding takes place in hydra, children. Okay, now this budding could be single budding, or there could be multiple buddings. And here also, from this side also, the outgrowth could be placed. Okay, this side also it could develop. It could develop several hydras at in one parent hydra. From one parent hydra, many hydras could be developed. So this is how the outgrowths are being developed in the form of bud, in the form of projection, in the form of outgrowth like structure. Okay, and then what happens, this is going to fully, once they are fully grown, they will be detached from the parent's body and they will live freely in the water. Or if the animal is living like in the east, what happens, the nuclear material is going to transfer from one cell to the another cell. It could be, it is a single celled fungi where, okay, so this was about the east, this was about Hydra. So it could be about the east also. It could be single budding when it detaches and forms one single yeast, or it could be multiple budding. It could be multiple budding, children. Okay, so this could be multiple budding. So when one type of structure is present, when one type of one type of yeast is present, I mean one cell of one outgrowth is present, one bud is present, it is said to be a single budding. And if multiple budding takes place when on the same parent yeast, several buds are going to come out. Okay, so each and every bud will detach and then give rise to a new yeast cells. Okay, now why this happens is multiple budding and a single budding, both of the structure could take place in the one single yeast, and it could undergo both the types of budding, children. Okay, so the examples where you can see the budding is this hydra and yeast. Okay, so these are the two common examples where the budding is taking place, or these animals and the plants, they undergo asexual mode of reproduction, where this is the second type of asexual mode of reproduction, which is budding. Okay, so this was about the structure, this is about the asexual mode of reproduction called budding. Okay, so we saw about the multiple budding, multiple fission, binary fission. Okay, and then we have also seen about the structure, the means we have seen binary fission, multiple fission. Similarly, budding could be single budding and it could be multiple budding. Okay, so we have seen these two types of asexual mode of reproduction, children. Now I'll discuss about the next mode of reproduction, that is spore formation. Okay, this is the next form of asexual mode of reproduction, which is said to be as spore formation. Now, what are these spores? Now, in this method, the mature fruiting body is going to burst open, and then what happens? It is going to form a new plant, a new fungi, which is going to grow in a fully grown plant. Okay, now spores are these are the vegetative, these acts as the seed like structure. Okay, they're actually not the seeds, they are very small in nature, they are, I mean, they are very microscopic nature, so we cannot call them as seeds. So these are the reproductive structure, tiny which helps in the growth of fungi or growth of parent body. Example, molds. Okay, or it could be any fungi. Now, here the tiny structure, the spores are present. These are very tiny structures which are present inside a fruiting body. Okay, and this fruiting body is just act like it acts like the plant structure. And once this fruiting body opens, the mature spores are going to release, and then once the spores are going to produce, these spores are going to settle down somewhere at any other surface. It again grows and give rise to a complete plant body. So it acts like a seed. Actually, this is not a seed, because seeds are produced in the multicellular organisms, in the multicellular plants, whereas in these are microscopic fungi, as the very common example of the fungus where this sporulation or spore formation you could see is the bread mold. Okay, you could keep the slice of bread mold, I mean moist bread in some place for some time. Then what happens, after few days you would be able to see very small pin like structure. The paper pin like structure is going to develop from there, and then after some time the complete bread is going to means this is going to be covered, and completely this is going to grow, and the full bread will be covered with the bread molds, and this could give various colors to that colorful patches would be seen on that bread. Okay, bread slice. Now if you are going to take one this magnifying glass, and then you are going to see that piece of bread, you would be easily be able to see the small mold over there. So these molds are said to be as bread mold. Okay, so these molds are the fungi. These the scientific name of these bread mold is the rhizopus. These rhizopus, they have the fruiting body, which is a very tiny structure, which you could see a patch like structures you could see, but if you are going to observe it closely, you will be able to see the structure of these bread molds or the rhizopus. Okay, so these rhizopus, they have a pin paper pin like shape, and then they are going to develop in a very faster rate, and when these millions of microscopic spores are there, when these spores are going to be produced from this fruiting body, when once it is going to develop and once it is going to burst open, this is settles down somewhere, the nutritional, where the complete nutrition they could take up. So if they get moist surface, they settles down, and then after settling down, what happens, a complete fungus is grown again. So how is this spore formation taking place? What are these spores? Spores are the tiny structures. These are the reproductive cells which is going to help in the growth of the parent body. Okay, here it takes place in the fungi most of the times. Okay, so I'll just draw the diagram how this spore formation is taking place, children, in the bread mold. Okay, in the rhizopus. So this is very easy diagram, and I think you all have seen also. So here what happens, these fungi are actually, they are not the complete plant. Okay, they are not the these are not very advanced plants, children. Okay, so but this gives rise to the idea regarding the plants. They have roots, they have stem. Okay, so they can be participating in the various modes of reproduction, but the most common reproduction mode is this spore formation. So this results in the formation of the spores. How is this taking place? Let us see. So this acts like, these have roots, they have running stems, okay, and they have a small body. It looks like this. Okay. Now this has a very tiny spores present, very tiny structures present in them. Okay. So this is known as the fruiting body. So what is it known as? This is known as the fruiting body. Okay, so this is the mold, this is the stem like structure, it is known as stolon. Okay, this is the stem like structure. Fine, so this is known as stolon, and these are the root like structures, which is known as rhizoids. Root like structure, stem like, they are actually not the stem, they are actually not the roots, they are actually the rhizoids, root like structure. Okay, fine. Now what happens once the fruiting body is developed completely? So this fruiting body is known as sporangia. This is known as sporangia. Why? Because this contains spores in it. Now, these spores are the tiny structures which is having the capacity to grow a new plant. It acts like a seed. Now, once this fruiting body is completely matured, now once they're completely matured, then what happens? This bursts open. Okay, so this bursts open. Once it bursts open, then what would happen? All these spores will come out. Okay, these are going to be in the air. Now this is going to float in the air. Now till as soon as they find a place, suppose that this is a piece of a bread where it is growing, it settles down at the base, and then what happens once it settles down, again it starts growing into a new fungus. Okay, new stolon will be developed. Now again the complete body is going to develop. So this forms a new fruiting body, it forms a new mold. So this is how the structure of the fungus is being grown with the help of this sporulation or the spore formation. The process by which these spores are being formed, so this is known as sporulation or spore formation, children. Okay, so this is the fact because of which the molds, they have a very large network like structure, and these fungus grow at a very faster rate, children. Okay, so that is why, because they have millions of spores, they have powder like structure in it. Now as you see the different patches, now these patches are going to show you the matured, whether it is bread mold is matured or not. Okay, so if the green patch is being shown, it means it is not very much matured. You see black patches or the brown patches, that gives you the idea regarding the fruiting body has been burst open. Now the spores are present. If you just touch that layer with your hands, you will see that black colored powder will stick in your finger, and that will give rise that these are the spores. Now these spores, if you place it somewhere in the fresh system, in the fresh moist piece of bread, you will see that again the fungus will start growing at a very fast rate, at a very quickly over there in that place, because you have already supplied these spores. So please understand that these spores are very tiny. They are such a microscopic structure, as they could also be present in the air. You would not be able to understand, and it could go inside in your through your nose, because it is present in the air, and such a tiny structure is there. You could not filter, you could not just recognize whether the spores are present or not. And if you inhale, sometimes some people have allergies regarding this. Pollen grains, they are very much similar to the structure. In the structure, they are very much similar in the form of the pollen grains. Okay, which is present on the matured plants, but actually these are the non-green plants. They have none other way to reproduce. They don't produce seeds. So instead of producing seeds, they start producing spores. So these spores are the tiny reproductive structures. They are seed-like structure. And these spores, you could compare it with the seeds of the larger plants like multicellular plants, but still they are not exactly the seed-like structure, because these are the very microscopic, and they have a very basic structure. They don't have a very complex structure like seeds. Okay, so they once they burst open this spores, they will be present in the air, and wherever they are going to find a place, they are going to grow in the form of the bread mold. Okay, they will be growing in the form of a new plant. So this is the plant, and these are the daughter cells which are being developed. Okay, again they are going to grow inside all these things. Then all these molds will have spore filled with the spores, and this fruiting body is also known as sporangia. Please remember what is sporangia. Sporangia is the fruiting body of the fungi which bears spore, which contains spores in them. Okay, once they contain spores, what happens? This fruiting body bursts open, and then after bursting, it will release the spores in the air, and once they are released in the air, they are going to give rise to a new plant. Okay, sometimes the structure, the examples of this the examples of this sporulation or the spore formation, this is how spore formation occurs. Okay, it takes place in the bread molds, rhizopus, or this takes place in the penicillium. Okay, this produces a large number of spores. Fine, and this also helps in the development of certain antibiotics. This penicillium is again a this is again a fungi which helps in the very means this helps in the process of the formation of the various antibiotics. Children, okay, so this is known as the this is all about the spore formation, children. So we discussed about the binary fission, multiple fission, and then we discussed about the other one more topic of this asexual mode of reproduction, which was regarding the budding, in which we saw that single budding and multiple budding happens in the yeasts, whereas we have seen this last part, this is spore formation, which takes place in the various fungi, and this is the way by which the fungus is going to grow with the help of the spores, in which is present inside the sporangium. Okay, sporangia is the plural form, sporangium is a singular form. So this is all about this was all about the spore formation, children. I'll meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed. So that was all about the asexual mode of reproduction. I will meet you with the next topic, that would be regarding the regeneration and the fragmentation in the next class. So that's all for today. I'll meet you all in the next class.